My microphone, try that again. Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Urbana Arts and Culture Commission meeting on Tuesday, August 13th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. at City Hall. The first item on our agenda today is the call to order and roll call.
Lori Fuller,
Present.
Alicia Rodriguez,
Present.
Sarah Buckman,
Present.
Barbara Headland,
Present.
Mark Anthony Macon,
Present.
Xander Hazel.
Present.
Thank you. Next item of business today is the approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Do we have any discussion or questions before we take a vote? No. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All in favor, any noes? Good.
Should we do a motion? Should I do a motion first?
That's what I meant to do. Yeah, I told you, I seem like I'm in a fog today.
No worries. Motion to approve minutes from last meeting?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See,
Aye.
We do have an additional council member here, commission member. Should we wait until she gets a chance to get settled and ask her to be part of the vote? We're taking the vote on the minutes from the last meeting. Okay, okay, then it has passed. Welcome. Okay, thank you. Thanks for keeping me straight today. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
No new additions to the agenda, but I will have some information about our next commission meeting that I'll state later today.
And do we have any public input for today's meeting?
No public input.
Thank you. Now we're to presentations, and we have a grant presentation presenter. Mr. Joel Spencer is here from the Urbana Free Library to talk to us about their Arts Commission grant from 2023. Welcome.
Better. Okay. I run the after-school program at the Urbana Free Library called Teen Open Lab. The program's been running for almost 11 years, and this is our second iteration of this program, this grant. We call it Teen Art in the Library. Do you have this in front of you on your screens? Okay. I don't have a lot to show you. Most of what I have is in the report in terms of numbers, but just to give you an idea of what went on during the program, it was quite a bit different than the first iteration of it. So just the summary of who all was involved. Basically, the idea of the grant was to purchase a bunch of blank skateboard decks, which were identified by the teenagers as the media they most wanted to paint on. We also bought some flat media and actually a pair of shoes that one teen really wanted to paint. And the idea was to sort of support art but also design. So the idea that you could create a design that maybe could be reproduced. We ultimately had 89 teens create 94 pieces. We initially bought 40 blank skateboard decks and paint markers and stuff like that. And even though our numbers for Teen Open Lab were low due to COVID, our numbers for the skateboard project were more than double what they were in 2019. So word got around, and we actually ended up surpassing the grant award, which was $2,000, and ended up almost doubling that with our own budget, just because the demand was so great. We originally were trying to partner with Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center through the Fab Lab, and also the art club at Urbana High School. And we did get letters of support from both of them. In the end, not enough teens came to the Urbana Art Club at the high school. So she ended up, I think, with just 1 or 2 students who were not particularly interested in participating. So, and that was mostly due to COVID and other commitments that the teens had. We did get a last-minute group that came in after we were awarded the grant, which was the Teen Autism Program at UIUC. And they were coming every Tuesday and Thursday through this summer and the end of last summer, I believe. And they were very involved. And then we had 13 attendees from UNCC. We don't keep demographic information simply because it's sort of counter to the environment that we're trying to establish with our teens, and that they own the program. But I will say that approximately 85% of the attendees were female and 80% African American. We also had 2 opening receptions, and this was very interesting to me. The previous iteration of this grant, we had 1 opening reception, and it was huge. We had everybody that ever was involved with the program at all. Everybody showed up. This time, we had double the amount of participation, but the attendees at the opening receptions was about half. And the teens were clearly not interested they actually came to the event thinking that they could just keep working on their decks, and some of them did, and just take them off the walls. So we had 2 opening receptions, September 19th of 23 and in April of this year, where we had 20 attendees. So to give you an idea of what this looked like, this was during Teen Open Lab, which is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 3 to 5:30 in the Lewis Auditorium at the library. And they were encouraged to do pretty much whatever they wanted. They had acrylic paint and paint markers, brushes. We made sure that they came up with their own scheme for cleaning up at the end. And we had some older teens, that's Journey on my right hand, on everyone's right-hand side in the white shirt, sort of teaching everybody. She had sort of aged out and came back as a volunteer. This is our autism group on the left. And then our autism group and a bunch of other people on the right. Everybody working on different things. The first opening reception was on the 21st, or this is the second one. These dates are mixed together. The first opening reception was in September of 23. And this is what it looked like on the wall. We put all the skateboard decks, well, actually we couldn't fit them all, so we put some of them on tables. And we were allowed to leave, they're still up. They've been up for over a year. Which was important as we were trying to establish this space, as even though we have to share this, we were trying to establish with the teens that their work was valuable enough to leave, and that other programs, including board meetings and stuff like that, that it enhanced our shared space and made them feel more a part of and more of a stakeholder in the library and sort of the greater community. Here's some of our most amazing work. This almost looks like it was printed, but somebody did that by hand with a marker. So lots of different work. very graphic stuff. I love this sort of bird and then sort of a stained glass thing on the right. And this is one of our younger artists did both of these. Crystal. I think she did a couple of decks, actually. My favorite is Spider Ham, because it always made me laugh. It's still up, I think. And this is, I think, the most expressive piece. It just looks like it's charging at you with a sort of menacing hug. And then we had a team come back from, I think this, I don't remember if this was 2019 or if this was early in this iteration of the grant. But this is the only skateboard deck we've seen where they actually put trucks and wheels on it. So she was actually skating this and brought it in and to show us. Here are the shoes that Journey did. And here's two of our artists. These two always make sure to be standing in front of their work at the opening reception so that they can give a full account of the meaning and every step of their creative process, which I thought was especially endearing. So impact, I think everything we set out to do, we accomplished. We did increase awareness and sense of ownership of the program, Teen Open Lab. We increased public access to art because, like I said, the art is on the wall and still is. 2019 when we had to take it down after a few months, but administration doesn't seem to be too keen on asking us to do that now because it actually just makes the space nicer. So over 5,000 community members have seen these pieces, and now they are asking us for new forms, new media, and they're bringing their siblings in. So I think mission accomplished. And that's really all I have, if anybody has any questions.
Well, not so much a question, but I love what you said about, the kids feeling that they had a stake, they were stakeholders in the library and that they were really contributing something to the library and their community. And that's just a great feeling for anyone, but, for kids, it must be a really soaring feeling. So thanks for giving them that.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, and to develop a program that brings children to the library and want to keep coming back with all the distractions that they can have in their lives. That's pretty amazing that you had such a turnout.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question. Did you? No. I wanted to just ask about teen programming in Urbana, just because I think that the Open Lab is a pretty big one that most people know about. And then the Park District has some things going on. But where do you see a need in the community for teen programming? Does it seem like there's a good amount? Do you think that there should be a ton more and there's not enough?
I think one of the biggest struggles has been every agency that offers this or wants to offer this overlapping, perhaps not communicating enough, and everybody does their own version of the same thing rather than building a network. And we've worked really hard since COVID to change that. I think we're making good progress. There's people that are in better positions now that I think we're going to be able to do that. And also we need to target geographically, I think, where teens are likely to be able to physically be. So we're in very, very, very early talks with the school district to maybe do something more with Splash. We did just get a grant, the Youth Services Grant, that is allowing us food for the first time. So we're hoping to, everybody's so busy and all of us are, this is only part of what we do, but we're working very hard to build that network so that teens will see the same faces in different places and understand that there is a network in the community that they can rely on. But I'm trying for years to get into where they are, go to Learman neighborhood, stuff like that. And also COVID hit things really hard, and attendance at these programs is down across the board, and not just here, but sort of nationwide. I don't know if that answered.
Questions? Comments?
I love the fact that, you know, you're painting skateboards and shoes and making functional artwork and really expanding on like where art is in the communities, because that's fabulous.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's their idea. I just do what I'm told. I mean, it's actually rooted deeply in academia, but we try to make the structure invisible. There's a lot of studies in theory behind, educational theory behind what we do, but it's basically just empowering the teens to have some sense of power, and in one part of their life not be someone's child or someone's student, that they actually get to make decisions and it happens. And, you know, I think that's really the most important thing in creating that program.
And what a great way to build relationships too, you know, with others. It's just outside of a school setting and outside of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is they don't have to be there. So, you know, it has to be a genuine relationship.
Hi, I was wondering, you said that the programs are during the weekday? Do you do programming in the weekends, and do you know, what is the difference between the weekend programs and the weekdays in terms of participation?
We've done other teen programming besides Teen Open Lab on weekends, to varying effect. It depends on what it is, and sometimes a program that was super popular and you did it on a Saturday, and so 6 months later you do it again on a Saturday and no one shows up. It just, things move quickly. That's why I think it's good to have this thing that's structured enough that it stays in their minds and it becomes part of their routine, rather than something that you have to spend all of this energy developing and then promoting and then hoping, and then whatever happens, and then, you know, it's more important to have the consistency, I think. We do a program that's similar to this, but for younger children and their parents, called Makerspace Junior, that we do on Saturdays. And every time it's at least 50 people. Yeah, it's.
I'm wondering, because I would imagine that the teens that do go during the week are the ones that don't have after-school commitments like clubs, sports, music, or what have you. So I'm just wondering how those kids those teens can also have the chance to participate on the programs that you might offer in a way to promote it. Because just from experience that I've had with knowing students that, you know, are busy during the week with not only their academics, but also their after-school programs, they would love to do something like this if they could, but how to promote it is during the weekends if they have more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest problem or issue with that is that there's only 2 teen librarians. And actually, the Teen Open Lab takes place in the auditorium, so we have to set it up and tear it down every day. And we've looked at ways of doing that on weekends. We just don't have enough staff. And also, I think part of it is they know the 2 of us, and that's, I think, that's a big part of it, because we've done a lot of work to gain their trust, and to, you know, they don't really know other people so much. I would love to have all of you come and visit. It's a wonderful place. The kids are amazing and funny, very, very funny.
It'll be interesting to look back maybe 5 years from now and see what if you have the opportunity to see what some of those children might be doing, and whether some little kernel seed blossomed from your program.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, the program's been running for 11 years, so I have run into some teens, and we have a couple graphic artists in San Francisco, and we have a aspiring rapper in Lafayette, Indiana, and then Pacific Northwest has our very first cohort. A bunch of those kids moved there together and are super into manga. So, yeah.
Had a lasting impact.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a little scary. They're
Well, I'm sure it's it's gratifying too, I'm sure.
Oh, it is. It is. It's funny when their voices change. Thanks, Joel.
Well, that's the end of our discussion. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
thank you
coming
very
and
much.
for your
Thank you for your
presentation.
time.
Now, the next item on our agenda is the staff report, the monthly staff report.
Right, yay. It's been a while. Feels like it's been a while since we've all been here. So I have a lot of updates, but the first thing I want to share with you all is a video that was made by, Nina King was the photographer and videographer who documented the market mural. And so I know we've done a lot of just kind of follow-ups regarding that project, but this is a pretty cool video. It's about, it's almost 6 minutes long, but I thought that we could watch it together. I just watched it for the first time just before this meeting started. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and play it.
My influences trend towards like stuff that I was super into as a kid. Design was constrained somewhat by the necessity of like it being something that anybody could come and help with, right? So big, simple color blocks. And then when I started thinking about it in those terms, I was thinking of like buildings and like cityscapes. And so that led to like, oh, I loved playing like Sim City as a kid. When I was playing with my Hot Wheels, my favorite thing was like having one of those rugs that has like the cityscape on it. And so like, okay, what if I could design my own? The murals I've done in the past have been on a wall. I've usually been able to use a projector. The weather was a factor on this one in a way that it wasn't on some of the other ones I've done. You know, we had a relatively small window from the get-go, 6 days, and we lost, you know, a day and a half due to weather. There is a 0% chance this gets done without the incredible number of like community volunteers that have come out and helped with this. We were very lucky every day to have so many people coming out and being involved and like making like really meaningful contributions. And you know, we had people offering like, do you need me to go get water? Do you need me to go get snacks? How you guys doing on this? That's been the coolest part of it. People come in and even if they just painted one section, they're like, I can't wait to come to the farmer's market and like tell my friends, hey, I painted that section right there. So one of the goals of the mural was to like sort of like create a sense of place, create a sense of like community. And with that as our goal, I think we nailed it. Ground murals can serve a couple different purposes. So they are generally a lot more temporary than your traditional like wall mural. It's something new for the community, especially something this large, and it's a conversation starter. It defines the place, and it seems to be, based on the reactions we've been getting, it seems to like really excite people and make them happy that something like this is happening. Sending out like an immense thank you to everybody that has volunteered or just like, you know, left a comment on social media saying like, I drove by today, it looks awesome. That is like, especially during like some of the longer days where it's extremely hot out, it kind of keeps you going.
So there's some new research that's happening, and it's kind of in the early works, but basically it shows that when there's art or there's murals installed on the ground, that it can affect the speeds that cars are traveling, kind of the behavior of vehicles in general, and also placemaking, and just making something from a parking lot, turning it into a place where people can freely feel safe to kind of be pedestrians. In towns like ours, where we have a growing population and we're kind of in between a small town and like an urban city, it's really important to have areas in the public realm or the public space where people can visit, feel like there's really a spot for them to exist, and also creating like a culture around it. So placemaking is really important to urban environments because of that. The market mural is in the parking lot that's outside of the Lincoln Square Mall, and it takes up the north alleyway that sits above where the farmers market happens. And that farmers market takes place May through October, and it starts at 7 a.m. and ends around noon. Installing this mural, it took a lot of hands. We, oh my goodness, used over 18 gallons of primer to completely cover that area in white paint. And then after that, we were able to lay out the grid, Cameron kind of sketching things out so that volunteers could then come in, find a block or find a shape and fill it in with a specific color. So we did a call for volunteers. Tons of people were coming in and just stopping by on their lunch breaks, just kind of passing through, asking what was up, and then deciding to come and help us. Projects like this are really important because when you see diversity and artistic, cultural diversity in a town, it's a lot easier for people passing through to understand the commitment or the value that art has in a place. Programming and workshops and all those types of really important things are also important, but when people can visually see an investment in the community, I think it makes a really big difference, and I hope that Urbana can continue to add more color around town.
That was really nice.
I would like to just say, if Cameron's watching this, because he might, that we did a pretty good job getting interviewed because we were just so hot and tired. So watching it, I'm like, okay, I think our words made a little bit of sense. Yeah, so really excited about that video. Hoping to have that on UPTV, but then also having it on the city's website, and just being able to share the process of that so that other towns who are looking to do some large murals can kind of have some insight. But yeah, Nina did a great job. So that's fun. Moving on to the rest of the report. All right, so I want to go over some of the programming that happened over the past month. The CU BIPOC Artists Collective had a nature hike at Anita Purvis Nature Center. We got a chance to go into Anita Purvis meet Savannah at the Nature Center. She showed us some of the animals. We got a chance to just kind of get to know each other, go hike Busey Woods, and do an art project later on. The hike was led by Tomas Delgado, and he did an awesome job just walking us through Busey Woods, pointing out plants. People had lots of questions about trees and native plants, and so it was really awesome to do sort of a nature and art collaborative event for the BIPOC Artist Collective. And our next meetup that we have coming up for August is going to be at Delight Flower Farm. It's going to be a sound bath and solar printing workshop, and that is August 24th, which is a Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's at Delight Flower Farm. So definitely spread the word on that.
Share where that farm is located, please.
Where it's located, it's in Champaign, and it is West Champaign if you take Kirby and basically go all the way west towards Bonneville. So because it is quite a bit of a drive, we have registration that's required, but it's free. So registration is free, and there's also a carpool option for the registration if people need a ride from City Hall to the farm, because it is about an 18-minute drive. All right, another sponsored project from Arts and Culture was another Starling Shakespeare Company performance. Last year we had Starling Shakespeare Company do Julius Caesar, and it was really amazing, and it was at the Boneyard Creek. And they have been doing summer tours where they go through the Midwest. So they reached out again and said that they wanted to come through Urbana. So they had their performance of Twelfth Night at the Boneyard Creek Crossing. Last year we had about 75 people come and enjoy the performance, and this year it was closer to 120. So it was really awesome to see that space just filled with people kind of chilling on the grass. So pretty packed. I think everyone was trying to get the good spots. But yes, so hopefully we'll get to see something next summer as well. Urbana Arts and Culture did an art pop-up, or 2 different dates of art pop-up. The first one was tie-dye at the market, and then the second was the same tie-dye pop-up at Busey Bank. The artist Quinn Koneman was the one who designed the bags, the tote bags, and so basically people were able to come in and grab a tote bag, learn how to tie-dye, and then kind of take those tote bags home in a Ziploc and then enjoy them later on. So we'll be doing another pop-up for Pride, for the Pride Fair on the 21st of September. I wanted to just go over a few more upcoming events. Urbana's Fall Fusion Fest, which is a collaboration between 40 North and Urbana Arts and Culture, is coming up October 5th from 3 to 7. So be sure to mark that in your calendar. If you weren't able to come last year, it's Main and Main Street. The streets are closed. There's pumpkins everywhere. There's really cool photo ops that are happening throughout that area, activities. I think there's going to be some fire dancer performers, some really fun, I think, live pumpkin carvers, the popcorn wagon. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff to check out, and it's all free and open to the public. Another upcoming event is the Lake House Candlelight Serenade Symphony Edition. Barbara, do you want to share any extra information on this?
Sure. This is the 3rd year we've performed for this program, and this year, like many other programs, we're presenting your favorite love songs from different eras, And nothing terribly classical. This is just an evening to chill and enjoy hopefully the good weather. And I believe there's a vintner coming, someone selling wine as well, that you can buy. At least there always has been someone where you could buy wine and sit at the table and enjoy the refreshments while you're listening to the music. Hopefully this year the bullfrogs won't be terribly loud. It was rather interesting last year. They seemed to be happy. I don't know, maybe it was the music that made them sing, but it was interesting. This year is actually, we had originally planned for it to be a string quartet, and one of the violinists was not able to get here from overseas in time, so I replaced them with a wonderful flute player from the symphony. But it's a wonderful sound, and we'll play the same music. So we hope, bring your friends and tell them about it and come out and enjoy the evening.
Awesome. Friday, August 30th from 8:30 to 10 p.m. I went last year and it was so much fun. I think this year there was a jazz edition and then this is the symphony edition, but it's a really good time. There's paddle boats that you can rent. I think it comes along as a ticket option to have your own boat. So it's pretty cool.
Some people drove around while we were playing. They would be waving at us. It was kind of fun. So I hope I've picked your favorites, because it took me a week of pulling music and not trying to repeat anything that we've done in the years past.
It's a very romantic evening. Yeah, but
Date
also
night. Good family night too as well.
I think last year there was a couple with their 2 chihuahuas in the paddle boat with them, and it was very sweet, very cute. Okay, another exciting new project that's happening. The City of Urbana's night market at the square, market at the square, is doing a night market at the square. So it is a series happening on Thursday nights from 6 to 9, and this is going to be running from September 5th to October 10th. And it's happening at the Lincoln Square Mall parking lot where the Urbana Farmers Market is. There's going to be art vendors, food trucks, and some live music. I think there's also going to be some live painting and some other special things happening. But it'll be a great chance to try a bunch of the food truck options, kind of see them all in one place, things that are different than the regular farmers market. Those ones are usually geared towards some breakfast burritos. So this will be a little bit different. But yes, we're going to be promoting it more. So this is kind of the first announcement of it, and it should be fun. There's going to be a music lineup that's shared pretty soon, and we got lots of bands locally and also regionally who are going to be performing at each of these events. But look forward to seeing more on this. And that's all I have for this presentation.
Add one item?
Oh, yeah.
About the Literacy Festival, since they're a recipient of a grant.
Sorry, what was that?
Literacy Festival on October 5th.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Children's literature, it's been a while because of the pandemic, but I believe it's every 2 years. The university has the annual literature festival, and they bring in authors and publishers bring in their new books and set up booths, and a lot of vendors involved, and it will be at the Institutional Instructional Center on Springfield Avenue on campus. And at noon on October 5, there's a music and marionettes program for children on Saturday, October 5, and it will be repeated at the Urbana Methodist Church at Lincoln Square at 4 p.m.
Awesome. Very good. If you get a chance to see puppets and go to that, it's the Youth Literature Festival, right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's pretty exciting. I think that they have a little bit more information that they're sending, because I'll be sending out a newsletter closer to the date on that too. So
They've been gathering information, I know.
yeah.
And I think everybody knows puppeteer Ann Newman. She's very popular.
Yep.
But there'll be a premiere of a radio play that has not been performed since the late 1940s. And she has made puppets for it. And I've also commissioned some artwork to be presented as the PowerPoint for the story. So we're hoping it'll have something for everybody.
I did just want to let you all know, you probably have noticed that you've been getting some invites to Urbana Arts Grants events. So I'm just kind of trying to send those out. They're basically calendar events, so it makes it a little easier for some people. But if you see some, try to make it to them, but also share is always helpful too. All right, so moving on to some new business. I'm very excited to share that I've been working with 40 North on more utility box murals. So you all voted on some murals on glass, so that's underway. But there was a call for utility box murals. There are 4 more locations for boxes, and that will be those will be installed within the next probably year and a half. So this is sort of covering this brand new fiscal year. But 40 North and I will be presenting basically some of the finalists that were sort of selected. Basically, we have a whole bunch that were sort of selected, and we'll have a survey sent to you so that you can vote on the ones that you will want. That way, we're not going through 100 artists' work during our commission meeting. So this is how a lot of other programs are done during council meetings and other commissions. So it'll be an anonymous survey, and then the results from all of your selections will be presented again, and then that will be a recommendation that I'll present back to you, and then you can vote on that. So just giving you a heads up that it won't be happening before our next meeting, but I'll be doing another brief on basically the process during the September meeting, and then that survey will go out to you. So it's exciting. And it's a lot to get through because it's 4 boxes and a whole bunch of artists were able to submit work, which is really awesome. Yes.
Got our curiosity up now, too, because we wonder where it's going to be.
Okay, so I can tell you that there's a utility box that's on Main Street, and so that's definitely one that we're going to be, it's outside of Heel to Toe. It's kind of that like Main Street and Broadway. And if you're familiar with Main Street, on the other end of it, there was one installed. And then we are also looking to install one on Philo and Windsor. So kind of trying to sort of touch that, I think it's the Pines shopping center area. So kind of spreading the art out a little bit. And then we're looking at a couple other locations as possibilities outside of Paradiso. There's a utility box that's owned by the city of Urbana, and then at Lincoln and Florida, there is the, I think, veterinary signage. It's kind of like on campus. It's on the corner that's kind of across the street of the Idea Garden, but it's a nice prominent city-owned utility box. So that'll be another nice spot to kind of have the art not only in the downtown, but kind of spread out a little bit. So excited about those.
I think back to some of the early years when we started putting artwork around town, and there was an installation on Philo Road many years ago. One of the early years of this program.
Okay. Yeah, it's
brought back some memories by bringing that up.
There are a couple on Windsor, and we have to use ones that are owned by the city, but also we're looking at utility boxes that are in good condition so that the vinyl can adhere properly to ensure that it lasts a long time. But yeah, and also leaving a little meat on the bone for future years of programming. So, yep.
The one there right across here at Lincoln Square on the south side, that great big one. It needs it someday.
I wish it was owned by the city, but it is not.
Well, maybe somebody will get the idea and get inspired. And
yeah, I think that
happen.
if we could get the right people on the right email to maybe agree to something, it would be really great, because that is a huge one, and it's right next to the farmer's market entrance, one of the entrances.
Is that
So.
Lincoln Squares?
No,
Who owns that?
I think it's IDOT.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little bit trickier to get in communication, especially when you're the arts person.
gosh.
But yes.
Getting in touch with maybe the right person, who knows?
I think there have been some attempts, at least one by me. So,
Need us to write any letters, let us know.
yeah, I think that might be a great idea. So maybe that's something we could talk about too, is how we could kind of join forces on that with maybe Public Works possibly having a better connection with the owners of that one. All right. Is there anything else that anyone wants to share? Upcoming events? I know there are a ton of upcoming grant events too.
We have a collage workshop at Gallery Art Bar tonight. If anyone wants to come by and have some no-stakes art time, you can make it as bad as you want, and that's the point. So please join us for throwing something together as slapdash as you can, and have some wonderful craft drinks if you like. They also have non-alcoholic options there too.
Probably some great fellowship.
Indeed.
Awesome. Thank you.
For your report, filled with lots of goodies. So there's no new business either? Covered that, so, great. Yeah, I'm backtracking, aren't I? So now we need, unless there's any other business, we need a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn?
You have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Much, we are adjourned. I remembered how to do it the last time. That's the first time I ever.